Are you hallucinating? Huh? Man, those research assholes sure fuck you up.
I know what's going on. We got a bunch of fucking vampires out there trying to get in here and suck our fucking blood. And that's it, plain and simple. And I don't want to hear anything about I don't believe in vampires. Because I don't fucking believe in vampires. But I believe in my own two eyes, and what I saw is fucking vampires. Now, do we all agree that what we are dealing with is vampires?
Okay, and we're live. Okay, I'm going to get right to the point here. I'm going to share something else. And I'm going to take my time about this because I will edit it later so it's easier to watch.
Gotcha.
No, wrong. Sorry. This shit's complicated.
It's all good.
Groovy. Okay. Here we go. Okay, everyone has seen this thing, I think.
Lotus snake theory.
Yeah. Wait. I have not tried this on Windows Media Player, but can you see that?
It's not playing, it's black screening.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Hang on.
Huh.
Must be messing. Jeez.
Must not want to jive.
Yeah. Okay, so man, that sucks. Sorry.
Good.
The Dendera light bulb. You ever see this thing? Let me find it here.
Is this an Egyptian light bulb?
Yeah, the one that it's on several different walls inside of different places.
Heard of that somewhere.
Maybe it'll work better this way. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I'm almost there. Okay. Man, it's complicated. You should see my screen, dude. I have like 8 windows open.
Bunch of stuff, yeah. It's hard to manage.
Yeah.
How you been doing overall?
Man, amazing. My eye infection's almost totally gone. Life is good.
That's good.
For sure. I'm stoked to be able to do this again. Okay. Can we see this now? Probably not yet. Oh yeah, we can see this. Okay, see this is you can see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Dendera light bulb thing. Okay, and the dude's asking, and he's right. And I have a link to his video too that it's gonna be in the things. Actually, already is in them. Ask yourself why these things. So why are these dudes having this light bulb against their head? This light bulb is huge compared to their body. I think this is a portal. It is not a light bulb at all. Why would you have a light bulb in this? All of them. There's several where the light bulbs are opposing each other, and they're both just like this, aimed. Wouldn't you aim it straight up or off the ceiling, straight down, or at least to the side? You wouldn't aim it this way. They aim it this way every time. And there's a lotus with a snake in it, which is this repeating theme in all these ancient occult religion things. This appears to be a snake, and this is a lotus, which I think is an electrical coil. But I'll go into that in just a second here. What I think is this is a portal or a black hole generator or a window to the fifth dimension, and therefore a way to talk to God or godly beings, maybe. That's what I think. And I really do believe it. And I have a pretty good theory to back it up. For starters,
look
a
at
light bulb that big, if you touch your head to a light bulb bigger than a room, it's going to burn in your head. Why are these dudes holding it against their head?
Look at the shape of this.
Oh, man. Hang on. I gotta, hang on.
It's a serpent, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. exactly. You're gonna see this exact thing in this
Do you
video
see what's
too.
in there though?
Yeah, the
It goes
body.
down the body, right?
Yeah.
There's the
Yes.
head, and it goes down the body, and you have
Yeah.
the signs of the
So
zodiac going
damn
through it
right, dude.
because the stars are in the body as well because we're a product of the universe, dude. So
Absolutely. And the
that
lotus is
picture,
always depicted. The bottom chakra always is a lotus with a
yeah,
snake coming out of it.
right,
What does that
because
mean? There's a
that
lotus on the end
bring
of that
that
bulb too, by the way. That
bring
bulb,
that
that,
bring
that
that
light bulb
picture up.
has
I
a
think
lotus
I
on the bottom of it. Say again?
bring that picture back up because I think I got some ideas on it. You know, I like to interpret pictures.
I can't wait to hear what you're gonna say. Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
you're
I have a major idea about it. I know exactly what it is. I'm pretty sure, and I'm
so
gonna be able
this
to describe it.
I think that this is a light bulb. I don't think it's a light bulb at all. I
No, but
it
it's something electrical and weird, right? Yeah.
right, but it's the space above the heads, right? And you know how like in Christianity they have the flame above the head that comes down,
Hmm.
and and inside is a serpent, right?
Yeah. Hey, can you get the mic
So,
closer to your mouth?
oh, sorry.
Just because this could be a show. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
not crispy right now. Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
gotcha. Is this better?
Way better. Yeah.
All right, man. But yeah, the serpent is important because it represents the story of um, rebirth, right? And you shed that skin and you are a new creation with clean skin, right? And it's the same
Yeah.
thing with a resurrection of a sort, right? You go through a changing, a molting, and then it comes off. It's like synonymous with spinning straw into gold in like,
Yeah.
Rapunzel or whatever, right? It's the same
Absolutely.
story over and over of creation
Yeah.
or of this death to yourself, this resurrection, and it's
Yeah.
they knew this because this is in the body, um
Snake.
this
Yeah.
snake thing, right? And
Yeah.
it's actually segmented like that. And
Yeah.
that's
The
why
mummies.
it
The
also looks
mummies.
like a spine, does it not? Right?
Yeah. Absolutely, it does.
And
That's
there's
exactly what I'm
33
getting at.
bones in your
Yeah.
spinal cord. And how old was Jesus when he died?
Did you
33,
say there are
right?
33?
Yeah, there's 33 bones in your
I didn't know that.
spine. Everybody
Yeah.
has that.
Yeah.
And the sacrum, right, is down in the bottom, and it's 5 bones fused together. And then underneath that is a little bone called the coccyx, right? Coccyx.
Mhm.
And then, but that is where the word secret comes from, right?
No.
Because that's your root chakra. You get your energy up from the earth through there, right? That's where
Yeah.
the word secret comes from, secretion, right? Because
Oh.
there is an oil that travels from your pineal gland down the
Yeah.
spinal cord, and
Right.
it's like an energy of reproductive, but it's an oil. It's actually called Christos,
Will
right?
you spell that?
Christos, or the chrism,
Perfect.
the chrism.
There are going to be people watching this that are going to want to look that up for
Yeah.
sure.
No,
Yeah.
it's legit. And then the girl with the 2 snakes, right?
Hmm. The
That
caduceus
is, and
snakes,
she's got
right?
looking like a flame or a bird on her head, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the duality of everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Rosicrucian stuff, right?
Well, it's
And
only
the
stuff.
Kabbalah stuff, really.
I don't know, but like historically speaking, like this is the Garden of Eden and of understand, like the metaphor, right, of it.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
got the 2 duality, the male, the female. Everything is dual. That's a hermetic principle.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I. Yeah. Yeah. No.
But that
So
is
this
like
light bulb,
another
what is
that's
that?
like another dimension it's showing. It's not really like a light bulb. It's him maybe shining a light.
Yeah. They're
And
sticking their heads in it, and there's a spear on top of their heads too, symbolizing the top chakra, right? I mean, they're touching themselves to this thing. I think it's plasma being spun really fast, um, and they're into a tornado, which is going to warp space time. I think tornadoes are black holes that are moving around, and that they are a key to the fifth dimension. If you want to deal with a tornado, which I don't,
I don't know,
but you
but
could make a small one inside of a jar with water and a magnetic ball spinning in it, especially if you use this rodent coil,
yeah.
which is my primary thing about this is my theory on what this is. It's not a light bulb, but it's definitely not fucking anything conventional either. You know what I mean? Right?
No, it's like
It's obviously
it's
not
like the
conventional.
Bible. It's not meant to be taken literally. If you take it literally, that's a
Yeah.
different psychological viewpoint on it, right? If you
Yep.
take it like a metaphor, like the myths, and you understand it, it totally perfectly relates to this. Like,
All right.
and
Right.
that's every
Okay.
religion, dude.
Yeah. So let's say
By the way.
everything has a. I have a thing where I almost wanted to ask you to bring a crystal if you have one, or a magnet and
Hmm.
an egg, because you can feel that an egg has a magnetic field. If you use a magnet, use a crystal is even easier because the crystal's a magnet too, but it's like a longer field, but way more soft. You can feel it like 2 feet away with a
No
crystal,
kidding.
but
I
it's
didn't know
very
that.
yeah, yeah.
I'll
We
check it
should
out.
do it. We should do it. It's subtle energy, but and it's not nearly strong like a real magnet. But you can
Yeah.
also use a real magnet up to an egg. So, assuming everything has this magnetic field around them, so it's sort of like a battery with a pot with polarity, hot wire on the top, ground on the bottom, even grains of sand. So what does this thing do here? I think this bends space and time.
I'm not sure what that is. What is that?
Oh, right. Can you see it now? Yeah, that's a
Oh yeah.
tornado. Tornado.
Looks
More
like a
powerful
tornado.
than an atom bomb, they say, because it's a spinning vortex. And there's an electromagnetic fucking, it's just like an electrical coil. It's spinning that fast, but it's
It's
physical
shooting
too.
lightning
It's
all over the place.
physical and electrical. Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot
Yeah,
of
I can
people don't
imagine.
know this. A lot of people don't know this, but when the Jews were fleeing in, oh, sorry, going too far. No, no, sorry. When the Jews were fleeing during the Exodus, I don't know why this isn't talked about, but they were following a weird cloud that resembled a tornado. And at night, it said it looked like a volcano made, or like a tornado made of fire.
Hmm.
So I think there's this plasma, which is part of alchemy, where it's the plasma is the lightning. It's the pure fucking God. It's God, literally. And it's what's making our bodies work. But when it comes directly into the physical universe, becoming air, you know what I mean? So and I've seen a video where grapes actually give off plasma, which is not fire, by the way. Plasma and fire are not the same thing. That's just a melting off of another. That's just changing one form of from a solid to a gas. But plasma is different, um, scientifically.
Huh.
So grapes give off plasma if you microwave them. You'll get a plasma cloud if you fuck around with them. And so if you put grape juice into this spinning fucking vortex, inside of, let's say, conductive liquid like alcohol, wine,
Hmm.
which is made of grapes, is it going to give off this weird plasma thing? Okay, so now while we're on this is perfect actually. Except for I messed up this thing, so I'm gonna have to go ahead. Here we go.
Yeah. All that's about
Okay,
the all that is
yeah,
about, dude, is all the chrism.
yeah. So
The oil that descends.
here's the
Yep.
snake with no glass looking barrier around it.
Hmm.
Yep. Here's the snakes. Give me a sec. The snakes are coming out of the head. Oh, that's probably Jackie. See, the snakes are coming up.
Hmm.
Sorry, give me 2 seconds. She's probably locked outside or something like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man. Jackie Joe, are you okay? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. All right. Anyway, geez, definitely have to edit that out. How far did I go? I went back. I kept going. These snakes are the mind's eye coming out. That's it coming up from the fucking bottom lotus chakra coming out.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. If you look close, there's a person sitting down in the tree, and there's a snake coming up. And there's also someone, and these are the chakras, these shapes. And
Yeah.
I think the shapes are important.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's the rising of consciousness. Dude, the
Yeah.
chakra system. The first three chakras are animal nature. You don't get to, the higher echelons of consciousness till you're at the heart level chakra.
Right.
Or actually, maybe it's the whatever that is, the middle one.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Solar plexus, right?
Yeah.
They're the very center.
And then right above that is the heart. That's green.
Right. So let me show this really quick. Man, I really screwed the video up too, of course. Okay, so this is Marco Rodin. This is the God coil I was talking about.
Yeah.
And this
That's
is
what they call
why
it?
this yeah, he calls it the God coil because he found the name of God in mathematics. And his antennas are used by the NSA on all four things because they're the most sensitive antennas ever. The dude's rich. He says he discovered the name of God in the coils. I might have put that out, but there's going to be a link to this in the description. Right now they're all random, but I'm going to make them nicer where you can go right to the one you want to see. But watch this. I hope the audio works. You can't hear it, huh? Oh, man. That fucking sucks. I blew it with that. Hang on. Sorry. Luckily, I have another one, too. I have another whole different one I made in case this happens. But it will take me a second. Man. Wait. Okay. Man. You can't do a show like this without having it right here.
You want to see my new guitar since we're messing around for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. I haven't really messed with it too much, but it's a 12-string.
Man, I've seen 12 strings before.
Look at
when
this.
I took guitar lessons when I was a kid, and the dude had a 12-string one.
Knobs.
Are you using for the Spanish stuff?
No, I found it. A buddy of mine was selling it, and I just was like, let me just get one just to see.
Yeah, of course, dude.
It is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Killer. Yeah, the 12 strings are gnarly. Okay. Okay, this is from a shrine. Okay, I got this online. Let's put it that way. So I remember I was just saying a spinning magnetic ball that makes a tornado inside of some liquid like a monoatomic gold, the mana, or grape juice even. If it gives off a plasma, you're going to be, and you got this spinning vortex. Hang on. Like, check this out. And it's a snake in there. And these dudes are worshiping it. And let's see.
Weird.
Oh, this is actually the video I should have been playing. Man, I'm blowing it.
Oh, go back to that shape. Do you know what that was?
That?
Yeah, that's a satanic symbol. Saturnian.
Yeah, but it's also, okay, except for, okay, this is the whole point of the thing. I need the Marco Rodin video. Hang on. You know what? I'm just going to play it on his channel. Give me a second here. I'm going to play it right off his channel because they let me know that was copyrighted, but the dude's okay with it. They literally sent me an email when I did this first time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Give me a second here. I'll have to. Man, I recorded 2 of these movies, dude.
That's the box that folds in on itself. I've seen that before.
Yes. That is the shape of the universe. I gotta play the Marco Rodin one first to explain that. But that's a fucking bummer. But whatever. Give me 2 seconds here. It's easy. It's Randy Powell. TED Talks. He is the person carrying on the work of. Okay, I'm gonna just do it this way. Definitely edit this out if the show's gonna be watchable, right?
Yeah.
I like how you're bringing up all these points, man. We could totally. I'm just trying to present my case for right now, but man, you're good at this too. Okay, here we go.
No, I'm just going off whatever whatever you're talking about, like.
Yeah, but you know about it. You know shit that I don't know too, which is great.
I don't know. Well, I guess I know some stuff, but not. I'm still exploring the mysteries.
I'm blowing it. I found
It does
it
help to not be like bound by a fundamental belief system like most of society is.
Yeah,
You
and the
know, I'm free to
Rosicrucians,
like discover whatever I want. So
damn
I
right,
just keep it to myself usually, because
right.
everybody's like,
The
you're like,
Rosicrucians
oh,
were all
what the
about
hell, dude, whatever.
expanding,
It's
but
like whatever,
yeah,
man.
right.
Just because I like to understand the past that you don't have any idea or you don't want to, like, so I'm bad. I don't know. Whatever. We're all human. We love each other, right?
Exactly, dude. Okay, hang on 1 sec here. I got it finally. Okay, here we go. Can you see that? I have to keep flipping back
Yeah,
windows to make it comfortable. There we
Charlotte,
go.
huh?
Taurus
Okay.
is what everything
I'm gonna get right
becomes
to the
at its
point, or
maximum
we could watch the whole
acceleration.
video
This
too, but
experiment you're going to watch while I finish my
because he
talk,
doesn't
I want you to
care.
keep in mind when you're
Okay.
watching this
Whoa,
magnet
it's
spinning
already on
around,
where I
there's no
want it to
energy
be.
going into this.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back from here because
This is nearly 20 years later.
you still can't
What
hear
I
it, huh?
found was this.
Can you hear
Essentially,
it?
this thing is a heat
Yeah.
sink. It's a temperature
Oh, I
regulator,
can't.
just like your human
That's funny.
body. It's a universal geometry designed for maximum efficiency and energy
Weird,
transformation
I can't hear
and
it.
an ecological method by which the universe reprocesses
Well, you
matter.
can stop it and try to do it again, but I hear it.
Bathe itself at the
That
core of
does
a
No, as
look
black
long
like
as you
hole
hear
a
it,
and
that's fine with me.
dissipate
I've
and
been
eat
listening to it
away
all day,
out
making
of a
movies
white
with it,
hole.
so I
Based
know
on
exactly where to
compression,
stop it too.
decompression, just like we use to control temperatures and technologies like refrigerators. The Big Bang was just one of these reactions giving birth to this expanding universe, which is
Oh, I know
expanding
why.
because we're on the
Man,
southern half.
it's just
The
so
northern
stupid.
half is contracting. Okay? Space expands, time contracts, black hole to white hole. The torus is what everything
I
becomes
don't
at
want
its
to give you these
maximum
options to
acceleration.
mute the
This
channel.
experiment you're going to watch while I finish my talk, I want you to keep in mind when you're watching this magnet spinning around, there's no energy going into this coil. It's totally turned off. And I'll continue. Your blood cells are a torus. DNA is a torus. Magnetic fields, galaxies, all toruses. That's why a
So the
tornado is
rodent
more
coil,
powerful
it's
than
like,
an atom bomb. It's a one-way living systemic electrical machine, a self-sustaining jet. You might say a flying saucer. I found the way to calculate this torus in a perfect 3D, 4D, and higher mathematical hologram that can be scaled up and down to infinity, and which we now call the Abha torus. Or sometimes we refer to it by Marco's name, which is the flux thruster, atom pulsar, electrical venturi, space-time implosion field generator coil. And with it, it's possible to create a localized
yeah,
space-time implosion, a controlled desktop black hole. That magnet's still spinning. There's no energy
there's
in
no
the coil.
power.
This is the final
He cut the power
technology,
off
the
before the video
philosopher's
started.
stone,
Right when the
reactionless
video
drive
started.
unaffected
Back.
by any weight that it carries. It's a true
But
model
it
of an atom,
almost
and with it I have the
self-oscillates,
key to the
dude.
periodic
It almost
table,
works with
which a professor
no
from the
further
University
power.
of North Carolina told me
It
could be
gets
the greatest
really
Right.
close
scientific
to it.
discovery of all time.
Yeah, I think I know why
We
it does
can,
it.
for the
That's
first
what
time,
that's
cross
exactly
from
what I'm
one
going to talk about.
science
But
to
Remember the
another,
spider?
unbroken,
Remember
whether
the
it's
spider
subatomic
thing?
physics, periodic table, computer science,
yeah,
DNA. Remember, I
yeah,
said cure
exactly.
all
That was
diseases,
amazing.
And
artificial
that satanic
intelligence,
that
all
thing
the
that you just
result
talked
of
about, the
ether-on
magnetic
flux
thing,
fields. And so simply put, this
which
torus
I
does
actually
it
can play
all.
that again pretty
It's a
easy.
blueprint for a perfectly efficient
Yeah,
magnetic
still
field
going.
generating coil, a spaceship, a surgical tool, a supercomputer, and even a high fidelity speaker all in one. Are such
I
things
don't know what he's
possible?
saying.
Frankly,
You get what I'm saying though. This thing
Yeah.
it causes a spinning vortex of a it basically causes the only way that magnet will be spinning is if it were causing a vortex magnetic spin, you know? Where Tesla only used one magnetic pole. You know what I mean? This thing is spinning that magnetic pole. So if you put like one of these things on top of a Tesla coil, which is exactly what I'm doing right now, it could do weird things. Like the rodent coil, someone played the spatial frequencies backwards to it, and it both of them shit themselves. And they say it does weird shit to the room, you know, good and
Yeah.
bad, but it's creepy. That's what everyone says. You
That is
know?
interesting. Yeah. I've never heard anything about that, but that was a cool video.
Yeah. Did you hear him say the tornado is stronger than an atom bomb? And because that's the shape of the universe, right?
Yeah. Well, the wind itself is stronger than an atomic bomb,
Exactly. And that's what that is a vacuum of wind being pushed
as is
together,
the
right?
earth, as is fire, as is.
Every piece of sand is getting impacted and their magnetic field is changing, and that is warping space-time. I guarantee you it is. I grew up in Texas, right by Oklahoma, and tornado season every year was scary as fuck. It hit right next door to where I was once. It destroyed the house right next to us and didn't touch our house or our car. It's so weird. It demolished this big ass 2-story house though. That's the only thing I'm scared of, dude. I'm really not scared of death. And they say people are only scared of the moment of death. They're not actually scared of death itself. I don't even think I'm scared of the moment of death. But I am scared of tornadoes. If you see one of them in person, it's just as creepy. It's almost like you're looking at God or something just as powerful to you. You know? I don't know.
Well,
But
we are looking at God. I mean, you're looking at God everywhere, though, right? So,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, man.
Me and you're both looking at God right now, right? Yeah, because it's everything.
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's crazy to say this out loud, but I think we are God. Like
Yeah, I do too.
we create little people in our image, just like, he did us. And it's like understanding that kind of puts you above all the dumb war shit and all that, right? Like,
Yeah,
like
and
you
the
don't want
Hermetic
to.
texts say that we're basically just an imagination of God. You know,
Well,
me
not
and
an
you are
imagination. We
actually
are.
just a
It's like we
daydream.
are Him.
Yeah,
Is what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I
We're a
believe we
daydream.
are Him. I believe we're just
Yeah,
like Jesus was, and Jesus was one of us. He was the Son of God, right? We're all
yeah,
sons of God.
yeah. And
It's a
what?
fractal thing. We're like down coming through, and we just keep on repeating it. And that's the whole dying to yourself, resurrection, and you do it when
Absolutely.
you're a baby and you become a toddler. You do it
Yeah,
when you're a preteen. You do it when you're a teenager. If you go into some college, you die to your old self and become now a professor or a doctor, and you're now this kind of guy. And then life just
yeah.
keeps happening. Then you become a senior citizen. Then you die, and then it keeps
But you're
going. It's not
changing all the time, right?
right,
Like
man. It's
before, we were talking about the mummy. The Egyptians, they wrap themselves in like mummies because it looks like a cocoon where a
because they
bug is
understood
gonna
death.
come out of, right?
Yeah,
Right?
they understood death was just the next. You're resurrecting into something up higher, right? And you know,
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think that's
let me share this real quick too. Let's see here. Is that still on there? Okay, yeah. Let me
Da Vinci.
play this now. Okay, this is the part where I think the rodent coil. Okay, so the idea is that this toroidal shape is the shape of the universe. You know, and that's why he says it's almost going to self-oscillate. But I'm like thinking, no, let's look at an actual magnetic field, and this is here we go. I'm not sure if you can hear this or not. This is what people think a magnetic field looks like. Can you hear it?
Hold on one sec. I'm looking. No, I can't hear it.
Oh man, what is wrong with the audio, man? Fuck. Okay.
Oh man,
You
that is
have to build
intense.
a. Yeah,
That's I understand what that means, but I'm not even listening. I can't hear it.
yeah. It's the magnetic field is actually. I'll just say it. That's kind of how I wrote this anyway. Oh, I probably deleted the audio out of this one because I wanted to talk while we was going. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is what everyone thinks a magnetic field looks like, but this dude proved that this is not what it looks like. It looks like this. So there's two separate vortexes spinning off both sides, and they're both going out. They're just going in counterclockwise directions. They both push and repel, and one side's stronger than the other. That's what that says. This is what it looks like, and this is what keeps us attached to the ground. If you look at it, it's okay. So
Yeah,
this is what it looks like. This is what the vortex of any magnet or any person. Fuck, this is scary looking, dude. I've seen one of
yeah,
these in person, and it's the scariest thing ever. And look at it, it's
yeah.
rotating fucking saucer. God.
That's
Ugh,
wild, man.
yeah, man. This
I
is
throw
a
some sensors
wormhole.
in
I
it.
really
See
think
how
it's a
fast
wormhole.
it's going.
I think that if you were to walk into there and it didn't kill you, you'd be in a different time and place when you walked out. You'd be in a slightly off universe from this one, where I got a beer right now or I got a can of Coke. You know what I mean? You would walk off into another dimension. That's what I think. I literally do believe that.
No, that's what Wizard of Oz was about, right?
Yeah, yeah, it kind of was, huh?
Interesting.
Yeah,
Now you're in Oz.
right,
Who knew?
right.
That's a good point, man. I never really thought of that, but made me think of Wizard
So,
of Oz.
so what I think this thing is, you see the ball that's spinning inside the Rodin coil? I've been studying this. Okay. So that in that Marco Rodin video, there's a magnetic ball spinning inside of a cup,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, I saw
he
that.
takes it off the coil, and even though it's really far away from the coil, it's still spinning the magnet. And
Yeah.
the coil was cut off in the first place. So if you were to put that ball inside of a liquid and spin it into a tornado, then you have your own little mini tornado. You know what I mean? And this thing is folding time and space. The reason the lights are connected, the bulb is at this weird angle always. The reason because it's at that angle is because if you lay it on its side, perpendicular to the ground or parallel to the ground, either way, that ball's going to shatter the glass. We know this. I can prove it, basically. If you tilt it over, then it's always trying to roll up a hill. You know what I mean? If it's spinning inside the glass. And if you put it sideways, you have to have two different coils opposing, and that's also going to risk shattering the glass. You can see this, actually. People have actually done it. I don't have a video of it, but I'm making my own right now. I literally have everything to do it. And my plan is to hook up these electrical things. I have a bunch of weird coil designs. Let me show you. So because this, it's not a toroid, it's a double toroid. That's the shape of the universe. And these are two counter. So this is the Rodin coil, but I got them counter wound. Like one's going clockwise and one's going counterclockwise.
Yeah,
which is going to make vortexes go out both sides opposite.
Sorry, Frankie. Can you make your picture of you bigger? Because I can't really see that.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Is that better?
Yeah, now we're both on here the same size.
Perfect. So this is a dual one, and they're counter wound so that they fire against each other, meaning this is going to cause a magnetic vortices spin off one side and opposite the other, depending on which one you have hooked up to hot. These are on the same circuit right now, but I'm going to do experiments with this. But the Rodin coil, he was close to right, except for that. If you think of the universe as looking like a donut, that doesn't account for both of those spinning vortices on both sides had that sphere that was just on the video. So this is what the universe looks like, and this might self-oscillate. You could also, these will fire. If you fire this one will fire by itself if it's an alternating current without being connected to the wires. And therefore you get this parasitic capacitance, which is why energy can be transferred through the air. That's what Tesla knew this. And they're bifilar. So parasitic capacitance is if there are two voltages near each other, especially if they're touching, and they're different voltages but moving in the same direction, they cause capacitance, which means capacitance means storing energy as a battery. You're a battery if you can have capacitance. So these things become capacitance. And Tesla made the pancake coil. I don't really want to go into that, but we should eventually. But he's running, instead of a coil having like this, for example. Okay, this looks like one wire around a million times, but it's actually two in parallel. And so the energy goes into one all the way through every other one back, and then it comes back down and goes to the other ones again. So you have different voltages all moving in the same direction. He calls that a pancake bifilar or trifilar coil. So all these coils I'm making are that. There's actually two wires, and they're both going in the same direction, which causes a capacitance. And so with the theory of scalar waves or chi, prana, as it moves into the physical universe and it becomes more physical, it gains magnetism. And that's our magnetism. Basically, our electromagnetic energy is decayed chi or scalar waves. And the lower the amperage goes, the lower the voltage goes, the higher the amperage. And that's where you have the really solid stuff like magnets or motors that can turn over a car engine because they have so much magnetism, you know?
Yeah.
And there's this variant thing. The scalar waves are the top ones. And all capacitors, this is a known fact to science, pretty much even the mainstream science will agree. Capacitors store longitudinal scalar waves. They actually aren't storing electromagnetic energy. We pretty much know this for a fact because they move in a straight line and not a zigzag like that.
Yeah.
And that's what Tesla knew. And so when people build these Tesla coils that are like a 1200 wind turn, that's one long wire, that does it too, because you have this 110 volt to 1200 volt, that variable difference causes scalar waves. But if you were to wind this in a bifilar, it would do it 10 times more. Oh, it also completely eliminates heat and makes the almost no resistance by itself. Just that wind, just even a bifilar, it reduces the heat. Tesla actually used the word zero, like it eliminated the resistance to zero, to where you could get a really high frequency because it's traveling so fast with no resistance. But it also self cools. Like when I plug these in, you can plug these into your car stereo. It'll fry your amplifier after a while, but it'll sit there shorting itself for a long time, and you can shock yourself you can feel it coming off of it. I'm about to fire this up with AC, and my plan is to do a weekly show where I do at least one experiment and make it a quickie show, and something fun. And that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to present a theory, but I think I'm close to done with it.
No, I think you got
I have
it,
the
man.
Caduceus coil. Yeah.
I wish I could draw a picture on here. Is there no way to like draw art?
Right, you have to do an iPad, and then that would be cool if you could.
Yeah,
or we do a blackboard,
like a whiteboard.
So Caduceus coil. This is a double stacked bifilar Tesla coil. So I'm gonna make a bolt. Basically, I'm gonna make this a carry around. I'm gonna have 10 transistors on here, so I can run a bunch of power through it. I kind of like to think of this as the staff of Aaron. You know the staff of Aaron from the Bible? You got him throwing down the staff, and it says that it turned into a snake. Lost in translation, that could mean snakes come off it. And it says the snake devoured the other priest's staff. If this were Tesla coil, it's going to shoot lightning bolts, and it's going to go right and hit the nearest metal object, which is their staff. Could it be? Could that be the staff of Aaron, which was also put in the Ark of the Covenant, the supercapacitor for the Great Pyramid? Maybe.
Could be,
I'm gonna
man.
play it right and find out, dude. Oh, and by the way, I got a big version of this. This is the same thing as the other one, except for this one has a core. I won't explain what that means. It's got iron inside of it, so it amplifies the magnetic thing. This is a big one. What if you put a plant inside of here? I'm thinking about putting a rose inside of here and seeing if it blooms faster. If I run it, I can run it 24 hours a day at like low voltage. It'll be fine, So I had this fucking weird wormhole right here. And right now I have this one big wire.
Check out this, brother. Can you see this?
I want to see if this grows plants faster or slower, or maybe it speeds and slows it down time. Maybe if you grow like a plant, like let's say some small plant that would grow fast, like a small simple flower, and you raise one right outside of it on this side, would it grow way faster? Because this would be the future of agriculture. So go ahead.
I'm trying. I don't think you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can?
Yep, absolutely. I've not.
Were you seeing whatever the heck? I'm still trying to figure this out.
I know it's hard, right? That's why we should do a do-over. This is live though, but I'm gonna basically delete it as soon as I download it.
Right.
I invited Bernie. I'm gonna download it first though, because I did get a few points across that I wanted to get across for now.
Present share screen. I got it. You can dub this out. I don't know.
Have you heard of the Randonautica? Randonautica, have you heard of that? It's an app that brings you it's an app that tries to make you you
see this? All right, that's what. That's gonna be the center. Perfect. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. This helps if you have two computers. If you have two monitors, you can put just this on a monitor.
What is it doing right now?
Oh, well, it's up. Well, I have 5 windows open, so for me, the screen is pretty small. I can maximize it though, but there we go. Oh, now I can see it super big.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, see, I need one of these screens where I can see the whole thing right away, and one of the control screens. This works better with 2 computers. And dude, I fried my laptop. I have another computer. It's a shitty Windows 7, but I laid something like a magnet. I think I laid a magnet on the screen too long.
All right, so picture this. This is an atom center, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you got is Well, we'll go with black. Negative, right? And then for red, we'll go positive, whatever. I don't know how to do this. All right. So you got that, right? And really, it's just a combination. Everywhere that you have a negative over here, you have a positive over here, right? But these, you might have one there, one there, one there.
And these are
And
atoms.
you got, where's the greens? Then you got greens.
These are atoms, subatomic particles.
No, this is an atom itself, but what I'm going to show
Okay.
you is like the shape this makes, right? Is these things spin around this. Oh,
That would be a little harder. I can do it on the iPad.
yeah.
If Procreate does
Well,
it
like
pretty
this
well.
thing's going this way, right?
Yeah.
And this guy, he's going this way, but he's spinning around this thing, right?
Yep.
He's, oh, why can't I do a different color, man? There. He's spinning around there. He's going this way around here. He's going this way, and they all pass, they're they're affected by each other as they're spinning around. That's the nature of an atom, right?
Yeah.
Atom. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so this is magnetism in an atom, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
if you picture like oh, I guess I'm done with that. But like there's like if you look at the solar system, right? What you
Mm-hmm.
have is the center is the nucleus or whatever, right?
Absolutely.
And then you have positive frequency giving off planets and negative frequency giving off planets, and it's just known, right? You got Jupiter, that's a benefic planet, and you got Saturn, that's a malefic planet. They're positive and negative. Everything is, you know, it's on a polarity, right?
Absolutely.
Principle of Hermeticism. And it's like I look at that and I look at the stories in the Bible and other religions, and they all kind of come back to that. And I think that's where all that funnels down to this plane that we're on here, right? On Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by the time all that energy hits here, you got positive and negative electrons all over the place, right? And so things are affected by it. Even people need a EKG reading to understand their heart, right?
Right.
Like that. And if you notice music, if you get it in line with your heart, you feel better about yourself and the world around you. But if you're listening to dark metal, right, and it's sometimes it feels good, but like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
my brother really loves it, and I liked it too. But I like all kinds of music. But I always
Um,
have to.
rebellion can be a form of goodness too. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And some of it's just about rebellion and like, you know,
yeah,
it is
man.
it isn't that dark, but yeah, some of the stuff is dark. You know?
But all that, the planets that around that, like if you picture everything working in conjunction, it's making different configurations in the sky, and all these energies and frequencies are coming off of it. And we're at Earth, right? So it hits the Earth when everything's in a certain position in the sky, right? When
Yeah.
like in like if you go December 21st, I think it is, or no, the day Jesus is born, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Virgo on the eastern horizon is coming up. It's the
Mhm.
Virgin, born of a virgin, right? So in
Yeah.
Bethlehem, that's what's coming up on the eastern horizon every year, right? So
Right.
it's like you got, I don't know. I look at that and I'm like, was that a coincidence? There's no way, right? So
No, of course not. It's
if
definitely
somebody
that.
knows the story of the sky, because 10,000 years ago, right, we didn't have anything like computer. We didn't have like the technology we have now, but that was the technology that was known. That was like natural science. Everybody figured it out. But where did it get taken from everybody and twisted, right? That's where I'm
Right.
at. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, I mean, I do know, but I'm not going to go saying it because it sounds crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't know for sure, but you sure gotta say,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I know,
You're almost
believe me, I
thinking
know
out
the
loud though,
secret.
right?
I
Yeah.
personally feel like I know the secret to who and what is God.
Right.
How's that for
I think
crazy?
I do too, actually.
It's very
And I
simple.
think Moses had it right. Um, It's just the fifth dimension, I think.
I
And
think it's just
before
us. We
Moses,
are
all
God.
they were worshiping
That's
all these
all.
different gods, and these were godlike beings way ahead of humans, but they weren't God.
But like even
Um,
what we're doing right now, Frankie, we're creating this. Like you're creating this.
absolutely,
You're a creator.
yeah.
So
Everything is God, right?
right. So
Pretty much.
you're blessing me from where you're at, and I'm blessing you from where I'm at, and that's how everybody is like that. We're all the same thing. So to tell them that they're polluted or something is kind of in my mind, kind of devious, you know? Like I don't like that because people are not polluted. They were given a story where in the beginning nature was polluted by sin and all these other things, right?
Yeah.
So
I feel like everyone should be agnostic by default, and then have to prove their way or experience it for themselves. You know what I mean? Before you know what God actually is. You know?
yeah, but you can't like you got to understand too like I agree with you, right? But you can't force everything to a not a positive in the whole universe. It's just never going to happen because we
Yeah.
we
It's not
live
all
in an
positive.
atom. Like
Yeah.
we're part of an atom flying around the sun, right? If that sun goes out, the atom's gone and we're done.
Yeah. Right.
It's funny. I don't know. Just what I think sometimes.
Yeah. This is cool. Uh, this is a
What
cool
else you
site
got?
I found. Um, sure if we can see this or not. You see this?
Yeah. Oh
This
yeah.
website, the Planets Today, this shows you a very good example, and you can click forward. Let me show you. You can see. Can you see that big? Yeah,
Yeah.
it shows you, and I'm gonna I have to maximize this real quick. Um, these are all here. Wow, the ones that are something's messed up about it. They're different views too. There we go. Can you see that? Okay, you can
Yeah.
just click on, and the ones that are lit up are the ones you can see in the night sky. And the minute the Earth, like, see this one's like bright.
Yeah.
It's the only one that's visible right now, and you see the Earth's here. And this lets you really see it in exactly what's happening in real time. And the minute
Yeah.
one of these comes, like Mars is about to appear in our night sky. Watch. Probably next round. It might not let you go that far. And when it does, it lights up to let you know those are the ones you're seeing in the night sky. These ones, like look at, so you have Earth here. Jupiter's really big. Saturn's really big. All these planets are pulling their gravity. You know what I mean? And so during the day right now, when you're on this side of the Earth during the day, all these planets are pulling you towards fucking past the sun, and there's no planets in the night sky that are evening that out. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So you're always wanting to
Here.
stay down at night. At least that's how I
You
feel like. I feel.
you are awesome. You are spot on, man. And can I show you I would like to present something that goes right along with that.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Let me make you big if I can. Can you make yourself big or no?
I don't think so. I don't
We
have
have some teammates for you to do that. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it. Wrong one.
See this? I don't know.
Let's see. Oh man. That sucks. This is as good as it's gonna get. This is as big as I can make you. Oh wait. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Near perfect, right?
Kinda.
That's kind of better. What do you think?
Is this good?
What do you think? Do you like this better or that better?
I can't really. That's better. I think when we're showing a picture to each other, we should do that.
Okay.
Because that looks good. I
Looks good
think
to
it
me.
looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All right, so this is I was just put in
Hey,
birth chart
just so
and
you know,
look who pulled up.
Jackie just came in. She might interrupt the. Jackie might interrupt for a second.
Oh, that's fine. Hello, Jackie.
Okay. Listen to you. She can't hear you.
Oh,
I have the earbuds in. That it makes it way worse if you don't.
right. Well, this is a birth chart, right? So
Yeah.
picture the center here is Earth. So it's a blown up view from that picture you showed. If you zeroed in on Earth, this is Earth,
Yeah.
right? This is the 12 signs in the stars that are spinning around the Earth, right? And then these are the planets and where they're at when Nikola Tesla was born, right? So what you
Okay, man.
so
By
what
the
you
way,
have,
in the description, I have a video that covers every single one of his fucking inventions and patents, and it's
yeah,
fucking amazing. Talking to dead people. It's really cool. But anyway, go ahead.
yeah, he
I'm
was
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
kind of a different guy, man. He was.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, it basically flows like the zodiac spins this way, right, around the Earth.
Yep.
So when you were born, or wait, I'm sorry, it goes backwards. So where you were
Yeah.
born, like right here, this would be his ascendant. So he's a Taurus. That's what that sign is right there. So
Uh-huh.
he's an
That's
ascendant
the sun
where
sign.
the sun was on the horizon when he was born was right there. Jesus was the story is March 25th, right? That's Virgo coming up right there.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? Do you see how it corresponds to what I was
I'm
talking
glad you're
about?
into this, man. I always wanted to know more about this. But
Yeah, it's
will
really
you make
cool.
it? Will you go again to just so I can grasp it? I didn't realize.
Oh,
I'm getting
well,
it though.
remember I told you about the virgin birth on the horizon when in
Yep.
the story of Jesus' birth, right? That's also the winter solstice, right?
Yeah,
But
of course. Yep.
every year, the winter solstice in Bethlehem, where in the story he was born, this is Virgo, the Virgin Mary, like the Virgin, born of a virgin. It's in
Yeah.
the east,
The
from
house of
Bethlehem. If
bread.
you look east as the sun's coming up, Jesus was a Virgo, basically, right?
Right.
Because 2,000 years ago, the sign was in Virgo. It was up here, where it was over here. So in that amount of time, the zodiac has slipped this many spots, right? So now we're
Mm-hmm.
entering, I don't know. It's interesting, man.
We're
But like
entering the age of Aquarius.
all these have, yeah, Age of Aquarius, but we all have like these planets in here, and where these are at, these little lines are telling you about what's banging off what frequency wise, right?
Yeah.
So
And
the
this is Tesla's.
moon is like
This
conjunct
is
with
Tesla's birth
whatever
chart.
Kitu is that. Yeah, yeah. It's a birth chart. So what you need to do to look at yours is you can go online to like birth charts, whatever, and there's a database that will pull up your birth chart. So you put where you were born, what city, right? And then
Yeah.
what time you were born. That's why it tells the
I
time
don't
that
know
you was
what
born.
time I was born though.
But if you
I
can
have no
figure it
idea.
out, you can get close, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but you kind of got to be spot on with your time if you're going to get an accurate one of these. But mine looks exact like everything in my life, man.
Is really like his.
It's like
Huh.
it looks like I do well in certain areas because all these represent different houses, right? One's money, one's career, one's family, and I have problems in areas because I have Saturn in certain places that like family, right? So
Yeah.
it's interesting, man. Like
It is interesting.
but we're all part of the energies. I don't
It's
understand it all
gravitational force,
clearly,
man.
but I just thought that when you look at the spinning of the planets around the sun, you can also zero into how it looks when you're on one of those, you know, electrons or whatever we are floating around the atom, and that's
Yeah.
kind of how we get our who we are, our makeup, what we look like, right?
Right.
Everything about us, our personalities, and it's all God. It's like coming in. It's just that God is. It comes from the center of the universe of our atom, right? That's
Yeah.
that's what I think. I don't know. But anyway, I'm
How
done.
long do you think people have been studying this?
Uh, well, it's funny you asked that because I have a funny story. I
Isn't
was
it funny? You just
visiting.
switch the screen. You just switch the screen. Just by closing that window.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
yeah,
I would like you to have more control. We should make a show of this. You know,
yeah.
and
Sometime it'd be cool.
cut out the fucking. It would be better than Howard Stern in the morning, I think.
Yeah,
And we
it'd
wouldn't
be
have to be
interesting.
awake. We could just replay it at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you even know if anybody's even watching this? Is there people watching this?
No one is. You can find out. I only have 3 followers, so no one's even going to know about this. They're only doing it based on the name of the show right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And do you see the name of the show? And
Mm-mm.
the thing I have written is stupid. The show is called "There's Nothing Here," yeah, and you should read the description. And then I have a bunch of fucking cool ass videos on the bottom that are like having to do with all this, including everything we've talked on so far.
It's fun to talk about it, man. Like
it is.
Not many people are open-minded enough to be
right.
able to handle it, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Well, it brings up a bunch of scary questions for a lot of people, you know?
Not scary.
What if there was a portal? What if you had a phone that could talk to God? And I mean the everything God, you know? I don't mean some deity. I mean the actual, you know? That's what I think the fifth dimension is. That's what I think this light bulb, it's not a light bulb. The light bulb would burn their heads. They're touching their heads to it on purpose, I think. And that's because they're trying to tune into this. They're trying to get as close as they can to a controlled tornado. And what that is it's a wormhole. There's a video that's pretty
whether
cool.
It is or not. I don't know.
I think you'll like this. So all these coils I'm making, there's a star version, like where you smash one of those rodent coils into a star. I've made a bunch of those too. And the shapes of these things matter, and they matter the same way like this. The shapes are super important, I think. I'm going to share a screen real quick. Glad we're getting this much of it already. Hang on. It's more efficient than I thought it would be. Okay, just a regular mirror in the shape of this thing. This looks CF5, but yeah, but it's not. So a regular mirror won't take it. And shapes matter, and this is one of the prime things.
Hi everyone, in this video I'll be showing an easy way to make optical quality solar focusing mirrors. These will be first surface mirrors.
I hear him.
Oh,
can you hear me?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you anymore. I heard him.
Yeah, what I was saying is, yeah. Sorry, I got the audio all fucked up. I bet the best I can get it. I wonder if this would matter. I probably shouldn't fuck this stuff up. Oh, I know why. Okay, sorry. Let me kill this real quick. Okay. And really, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. This one's going to be pretty trippy. And this explains why this is Rose the Krishnan training. It's Dr. What is his name? Robert Gilbert.
I know that.
Yeah, they're trippy in that they're spiritual people, but they don't believe in any one doctrine. Like you were saying earlier, you do your own fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, just catch it really quick. I may smoke during this. It's only about 8 minutes though, and it's definitely worth watching. Hang on. Here we go.
Wave. Different geometric forms based on the shape-caused wave create different energetic effects, but there's a deeper level behind that, and that is different geometric forms actually resonate with different levels of creation, or what Dr. Karim calls planes of nature. So this is called the Ibrahim Karim Universal Pendulum, and it actually combines shapes of multiple different plane levels: the physical, the vital, the emotional, astral, the mental, the causal, the spiritual, and the divine levels that all have particular geometries that resonate with them. This means that by using the correct geometric form, the ancient Egyptians understood they could create a direct resonant exchange, like with an antenna, based on the sacred geometry. Sacred geometry became an antenna to resonate with a particular higher plane. So for example, if we take a look at this level, what in the human being is the emotional body and emotional function, and referred to as an outer plane in the Western tradition as the astral plane. Astral coming from a root aster, meaning star, meaning a source of light. And the forms that connect to that are the form of a hemisphere or a pyramid. So when they use the form of a pyramid, it wasn't just for pyramid power as an energy, but what pyramid power actually is the negative green ray, that was identified by the French, the penetrating carrier ray. That comes from this particular form. Both a hemisphere and a pyramid create that negative green emanation. But the reason why that form is creating the emanation is because the shape itself acts like an antenna for the astral plane. And that's why they knew further that by modifying the shape on the pyramid, by making a slight indentation in the center of the four faces of the pyramid, it's so slight you can't see it from the ground. You have to see it from the air. And from the air, you can see here the slight indentation at the faces of the major pyramids at Giza Plateau. What that did is it changed the resonance of the pyramid from the general astral plane, where the lower astral has some questionable energetics, to resonate with the higher astral. And when you do that, it cleans up the energy that's being projected by the pyramid. So one of the great secrets is the geometries act like antennas to resonate with higher planes of creation. And then as a secondary effect, they will emanate through the shape-caused wave a particular vibration that is the result of that particular connection. And they knew enough about it, in fact, to work not just with the general negative green ray, as we see here, but actually to work with sub-bands or sub-energies inside the general band. So the placement of the king's chamber inside the Great Pyramid is not in the exact middle where you might expect it to be. It's out in the middle. It's about 6 degrees, 15 minutes off of center. And so that's to get a particular carrier wave within the negative green band that's a sweet spot in the entire band, a sweet spot for being able to connect a person through a carrier wave to higher dimensional levels, which is why that place in the king's chamber was used for these initiation rituals, as described by the Freemasons and others. So this is the vertical and horizontal wave pendulums. For each of the bands, the energy may either propagate parallel to the Earth's surface, we call it a horizontal wave, or it can move perpendicular, and we call that a vertical wave. They create different biological effects. And so we have two different pendulums to be able to detect it, and they're fairly simple to use. So they can be set to particular angles, and then you can detect any of the vibrational bands that you care to. To detect the energy of the center, the BG3 energy, we have a particular pendulum that is designed in such a way that it resonates like an antenna with those vibrations. And this not only can be used for design purposes, to design things that have the strong vibration to them, it also can be used to test things that naturally have this energy. So what makes a spiritual power spot in nature is that it has a strong concentration of this universal harmonizing force, the BG3. Every classical tradition is the guardian of particular places on the Earth's surface that are their spiritual power spots. And now you can tell a true power spot from a false one that's been falsely claimed to be one, is that it has a strong concentration of this BG3 vibration if it's a true power spot. In the microcosm of a human body, those power spots appear as the chakras, acupuncture points, cells of the body, all of which naturally have this BG3 energy as well. One of the core concepts is that in the ancient Egyptian temple science, they had a grid pattern that I showed you before, and the 19-level grid was connected to the archetypal energy body of the human being at what we think of in the West today as the causal plane level. But in ancient Egypt, they had different names for these things. But on the causal plane level, this energetic grid was used to pattern out everything on the temple walls so that they had a vibration on the wall, like it was a living being. And that grid itself was adapted by Dr. Karim after he discovered it to become a vibrational tool that allows us to actually detect on what we call the human archetype ruler. Putting a sample here, moving up the central axis, we can test on 10 different BG quality levels. Once we add in a secondary axis here, it makes the entire thing come alive. When the two axes are together, it activates the dormant energy, and at that point we use it as an energy balancing tool and as an energy projector. Now, this was one of the fundamental sciences of the ancient world. They understood that the entire Earth is based on a vibrational grid network that then manifests on any particular point of land in a set of energetic lines that superimpose in particular ways. These energy lines may either have a detrimental energy quality, what we call geopathic grid, Well, then you have highly beneficial qualities, because when they're on a sacred power spot, they're running the BG3 energies. So, for example, here is a particular church in Germany, and when you do an energetic analysis of where it's situated, it has to be on a power spot. Today, we'll put a church in any old place. We'll put it in a strip mall. We don't think anything about the energetics of it. But in the ancient world, you would never build a temple for any tradition anywhere but on a sacred power spot. Otherwise, it simply wouldn't have the right energetics that you're trying to connect a person to. It wasn't just an abstract intellectual thing. You had to connect a person's energetic field, their grid pattern, back to the larger energetic grid through a sacred power spot. Where is the largest beneficial energy line running within the sacred power spot? That's going to be the central axis of the building. Then where are the different energy lines coming in, and where the majority of beneficial energy lines are crossing together. Whenever energy lines cross together, they create a vortex. And if it's a beneficial energy, then it's a beneficial BG3 vortex. And so that's going to be where they place the altar. So they're actually using the Earth's own energy lines to pattern out everything for the temple, because the temple has to operate like an organ in a living body. The building has to rise up out of the Earth's energy field like a living thing. Now, again, that was for all the different sacred sites of every great tradition. So Feng Shui, Vastu Vidya, the Egyptian temple science, all based on similar concepts. But of course, that's when the energies are beneficial. When the energies are detrimental, the Germans in the last 100 years have identified the way that these toxic subtle radiations coming from the Earth grids have the effect of scrambling the energetic information in living beings. Now, in the German research, some of which was paid for by the German and Austrian government, they identify the way that these subtle radiation grids, when you sleep on a crossing of the Earth grids, it leads to all types of degenerative processes in whatever part of the body is over the crossing. Particularly cancer is described in great detail in the German publications. And so this gives an example from one of the German texts of what actually happens, whether in a human body or on plants. That detrimental radiation scrambles the information at a cellular level that leads to healthy cell replication. And so this is what you see in the plant. You get these tumorous growths from the scrambling of the information. This show all the different earth lines that are crossing at this point. And unfortunately, the German research shows the same thing in a human body for the creation of tumors and scrambling of the field. And so that's why the German dowsers, and then from them got picked up by the British and then the Americans, etc., then used mental dowsing because they didn't know the vibrational techniques. Mental dowsing was a thing that spread more easily because it's not a technical field. The vibration radiesthesia is highly technical and deeply scientific, and it takes a longer time to teach people, but it goes much deeper in its potential. But using mental dowsing, they were able to identify the placement of the grids. And primarily what they try to do is identify where the grids are crossing at a person's bed so that they can try to protect the person from those effects. Now, what's used in North American mental dowsing circles is primarily trying to block the grid or divert the grid in some way, but that's not the Egyptian technique. The Egyptian technique is to be able to transmute the detrimental energy in the grid to a beneficial energy, transmute the detrimental energy to the universal harmonizing energy, the BG3. That's a whole nother level of operation that is much more beneficial and requires a much deeper level of knowledge. But whenever you go outside and you see that there's a hedge growing normally, but in one particular place, it goes all the way down to the ground, it's all brown and decayed, Earth grid is passing through that point. See a line of ant hills in the Earth. Ants love the Earth radiation lines. They're building their hills directly on the line. Whenever you see termites, things that are nature's system to tear down and destroy and reprocess physical matter, it's all connected to these detrimental grids. You don't want to be sleeping on those grids. It's also connected to accident areas on the road. And that's well known in North American mental dowsing circles, because the Germans did projects where they would hook up a person's brain to EEGs and then expose them to crossings of toxic earth energy lines, and you immediately see the brainwave scramble. So when a person goes across these areas on the road, the brainwaves scramble, they lose their focus, and there are repeated accidents at the same location. Now, what most people in Western mental dowsing circles know for the earth energy grids are the grids that come up from inside the earth and rise straight up like walls. That's what's being shown here with
They
these
fucking
green
have
lines.
elevation
They're
too.
coming from below and rising straight up like walls in the space,
Like,
and then they
fuck.
cross. And the crossing points are the most dangerous. But there are other
I think
lines that are
that's where
shown
the
here
fire
with
that I
red
experienced
lines
was caused
that
by.
Dr. Kareem has
That's
identified
pretty rad, man. This is an interesting
are
take.
Earth energy lines that are
Yeah,
cutting
it is
across
trippy, right?
horizontally in the space as well. Those are not well known to mental dowsers in the West, but they're very important, very
There's a
significant.
ley line going
They can
right
be very
through my
toxic,
old
and they
house,
must also be
right where the
addressed.
tattoo shop is right
Again,
now.
these horizontal Earth energy lines may be beneficial or detrimental. The problem
And
is that we've
there's
created
something I
so
want to
much
tell you about that.
electromagnetic
The
radiation
fire
in our
happened
environments
weird.
that the electromagnetic
It's something I
radiation
don't want to talk
is
about online,
turning this
but I'll
energy
tell
highly
you in person.
detrimental, because the
Um,
quality of energy to run the energy on the Earth's own energy meridian lines, the Earth grids, is the same
fuck it, I'm
vibrational
gonna tell
quality
you.
as the energy that we're using to
So
project
even though
Well,
I'm
you
electromagnetic.
gotta. He's too loud, but
he's too loud.
well, the video's too loud when you're trying to tell me something important.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's why I stopped it. So there was a fire, and I already knew that we were on a ley line. I can. There's a map of ley lines too on Google Earth that I have if you want to see. And it goes right through the place right next door. So even though I'm sort of anti-Christian, you know, not really, but I'm not Christian, but I was raised Christian, and I always like whenever I had a question, because I'm an electrical engineer, I do dangerous stuff. There's no reason why I would leave a candle. I'm too careful, you know. So
Yeah.
my this chick I used to know would say, just open the Bible, ask a question, and read both pages. So after the fire, I'm like, okay, why did the fire happen to me? You know, I'm way too careful. This makes no sense. Is it arson? I literally had my buddy that works for the police fucking send an arson investigator, just in case.
Right.
And both times, the second time, the first time was with the Gideon's Bible at the hotel we were staying at. I opened the thing and I'm like, why did this happen? And it said there was a thunderbolt from God, and it was meant to be where an altar is supposed to be. That's literally what it said in the Bible. I did it again with Jackie's Bible when we got back to our shit, and it said another page said the same thing. Thunderbolt from God. It's where an altar is supposed to be. And ever since then, I've been tripping out. You know, like we almost died for sure. The cops said that usually people die because they don't wake up from the smoke, the oxygen. You know,
Right.
they just
usually
sleep through it.
it's
They sleep
smoke
through it.
inhalation
Yeah.
that gets them. Yeah.
And my dude, he's the head of the detectives. He's the head of all the detectives. He insisted
Sounds like
that
a
they
dude.
send the fucking arson investigator, because I said I thought it was arson. You know,
Mhm.
I thought it was Jackie's daughter, Hannah, if you know who that is.
I don't.
She's a hacker, dude. She, like her dad, can write code, and she
Very
hacked
nice.
into the fucking school. She hacked
Oh
into
yeah,
the
you
school
told me
fucking
about
website.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it
That's
was
pretty
her.
cool for, you know.
It is. It's impressive. I don't like her.
Yeah.
I think she's a scumbag, but it's.
Mm.
I'm fucking impressed. You know what I mean? Real impressed. Fuck, more power to her. She's a badass. You know, if I was
Yeah.
16 writing code, breaking into and changing my grades on the website, fuck,
Yeah.
I'd be gnarly right now.
Yeah,
I'd be
but
either
you
super
can't
wealthy,
run
or I'd be in
from
prison. You know, I'd be in prison or I'd be super wealthy, one or the other.
you can't
If I were
run
her,
from the problem is if you don't do the work, people are gonna know you're full of shit, and that's all.
yeah. What
Like,
if you're born with that kind of mind? What do you do with it? You know, what if you're a
you
natural born
follow.
hacker?
I
What do
think
you
it's
do with
more.
your life? You know?
If you gotta find what you like, right? And
Yeah,
like
yeah. You're right.
if you otherwise you're just going to work and it sucks. But if you find something that you like to do and you're good at it and it's a talent, a God-given art talent or whatever,
Yeah,
you know, just do it. And it's you like doing it, you know, like it's not that bad. Like kind of
yeah.
makes life fun. I don't know.
As a code writer, it's going to be
It's called
very
following your
profitable either
bliss.
way. You know? Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Find your
Everybody
bliss
do
and follow it.
that. Damn right. I did. I'm stoked on what I do.
Yeah,
You know?
man, you gotta.
Really.
I mean, you're doing realism art, like
Yeah. It's fun,
dope
dude.
tattoos,
I
man, and
like
that's
it.
all coming from like your talent. You know that comes
Yeah.
through channels through you. That's your energy, man. You're a medium in that regard.
Yeah,
That's
it's something I
fruit.
developed at a young age and really wanted it for a really long time, you know?
Yeah, man. Art is huge, and artists, I don't know, they're the ones that form things. They're the creators, I think, man. Like they know. They're especially artists. I'm an artist too.
I know. Yeah.
Not
Is
saying
there
I'm
anything
that
you want to say
smart. I'm
about
just saying.
yourself before I'm gonna probably end it pretty soon. Is there anything you want to say about yourself?
About myself? Not
Yeah.
really. I mean, I've been
No.
to the bottom and smashed to bits before I kind of woke up to, realizing that something weird was going on in the society, and
Man,
I
exactly.
just, now that I'm, it's cost a lot, but I feel like I've learned through it, like,
Yeah.
it struggles. That's how shamans are made and gurus, man.
Man.
They don't get put up there by other men like priests and pastors. Like it's not that way. You can't channel heavy energy from the divine by another getting put in charge as a deacon, right? At a church or something, or a
Knowledge
Buddhist
is
temple as a
responsibility, right?
monk.
Yeah.
If it's like
Knowledge is
that,
responsibility. Yeah.
yeah, man, then it's not real.
Yeah.
Because the
Everyone
shamans I
thinks of
know,
monks
man,
as, they think of
these are dudes
Buddhist
that
monks.
spent like 4 years on a deathbed, like waiting to die of some rare thing in the jungle. And those are the
Yeah.
guys that people go to for spiritual advice, not somebody that everybody thinks is popular, right?
Right.
And they
Right.
worship too. Like they have a different mindset down there in South America, man. Like it's dual even in their worship because they have the ayahuasca whose grandfather, and then they have San Pedro, who is
Yeah.
grandmother. Or no, he's grandfather, she's grandmother. So you have their prayer starts out with our parents in heaven, whereas most places start out as our Father in heaven, and they keep it so that there's no chance that the goddess gets any credit, and they got to live under the man. It's a control thing, man. I think.
Yeah. Thanks, Catholicism. you know,
Thanks,
like, and a whole lot more
thanks,
too.
JEW
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Sierra. Yeah,
Yeah. Of course.
that's what I think. But
Yeah. It is what it is.
yeah, but I think Hermes
The
was
beautiful
good.
thing is we're in another renaissance, and it's at a scary time where it looks like we're at another fucking quagmire for the elite dickheads.
Yeah,
But
but
we're at a renaissance. I feel pretty happy about it and kind of confident.
they're still burning people at stakes, though, man.
Yeah.
Like they just not doing it out in public like Giordano Bruno in the
Yeah.
olden days. They're doing it like with technology and smashing your character. It's narcissistic, right? Narcissism.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
way
under the
beyond
table,
that,
like it's like under the table, like nobody's got privacy. If people want to mess with you, you're going to get messed with, and it's not going to come direct like, hey, I'm at your
yeah.
door and I'm going to mess with you. It's going to come through like, oh, how many social media accounts does this dude have? What's he into? Where's his dark secrets, right? And then that's when you
Yeah.
start getting ads trying to take you away from your family, or I don't have to put up with
Yeah.
this shit, and then you get attacked and you don't even realize it. It's a psychological thing. It's very incredible.
Right.
But it's nothing new. They knew about it in Greek, Rome, Egyptia, or the ancient old world, man. They knew how to deal with psychology and how to engage that frequency range that you're talking about and
Yeah.
use it for use it for
Well, their
good.
main
That's what I
problem
think
is,
the Egyptians were doing. Like they knew about it, and those pyramids, Frankie,
yeah.
those things are interesting as hell because it's not just like that. That was the first time I ever seen that video, man. And
Yeah.
that it lines up with like Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds from Amazon Prime, that movie that's out there. Like
No,
where it
I haven't
talks
seen it.
about, oh dude, it doesn't go into it where it explains how the pyramids interact with that, but
Yeah.
it has that the vibration thing and the frequency. Like that's the first place I heard of it. And then this thing kind of just
Yeah, it
to
sits
me
at
is
home, huh?
built off of that because I had to
It's a
understand that
fucking
in order to
antenna.
understand that, right?
It's
So
an
it's wild.
antenna. Absolutely. It's an antenna, man. And by the way, see this? This is the pendulum of Isis. This is an old one. That dude, the I can't remember what he calls himself. Doctor, he has the universal pendulum.
Mhm.
That dude is legit. He's a PhD. I don't know to what extent, but what he did was that there was a place in Switzerland where they put up a gnarly ass tower, military style. You know what I mean? It's like the gnarliest fucking insulation ever. And it poisoned this town where everyone kept getting sick and all a bunch of people moved. And he went and set up this weird gigantic version of this. And he put it on a telescope and he kept aiming it slowly and it canceled out all this weird shit.
Yeah.
You know? And there are people who are aiming antennas at these things and they're grounding it to the ground and they're actually sucking power out of the air. Because all these transmissions are electricity being sent at you. You know?
Right.
And that's why the 5G thing is kind of scary.
And like with the the only other thing that this is from a totally different source, right? That I saw this and something I was reading about in some astrology stuff was that where the pyramids are located at that time, right? Orion would have been directly overhead during the winter solstice or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like it's something like that where they lined up those with the belt of Orion, those 3 big pyramids.
Absolutely. And the Nile was the center of the galaxy.
If that's coming over it, they were probably having ceremonies and stuff during that time so that all that energy would disperse or something amongst the people. I don't know, man.
Absolutely.
It's gotta be
A
something
scary
like that.
part of
It's
me thinks, you know what a weird thing I keep in the back of my head is? What if I'm almost 100% sure that there's a Tesla coil inside the pyramid, and it's in the form of alleys or gutters that you could fill with salt water or vinegar and form this literal coil, electrical coil. For sure, and it's inside of a. So the magnetic field, if you do this, it does the same thing as that mirror. It forces one of the positive into a super tight space. It's amplifying the energy in the magnetic field of the pyramid. That. Yeah, totally. I have videos to prove it. For sure, too.
If you took a pyramid like that and you turned on a water faucet and put that on the top of the pyramid, you'd watch what the water would do, right?
Yes.
It would go
exactly,
and it'd spray out sideways, and like everything would be covered in it. So that was
that's the perfect analogy. Yeah, it's not even an analogy, but yeah, that's exactly right. And it's bending the magnetic field, which would be positive, negative, or even. Now you're focusing the positive or the negative, whichever you like.
Yeah, it's the same thing on like a free fall jump, right? When you jump and you're just free falling, you make your body like this, right?
Yeah.
You want it like a contact lens almost, so that the air when it hits you, it goes around you, and you're just slowing yourself down or speeding yourself up, right?
Yeah,
the same concept as a frequency. There's refraction, right?
And you sure don't want to aim yourself like a bullet, like a straight fucking wire, single wire going straight down, you know?
Yeah. So it's basically taking those whatever energy it comes in, amplified it somehow with the shape of it or whatever, and then it's got to be like flinging it out to the side to everybody.
Yeah.
So what's it powering? That's the interesting thing. Is that how they move the shit onto the? I don't know. Like, what is it powering? I don't get it. What were they doing? That's what I don't have.
Yeah, it's like the Mona Lisa's smile, you know? It's like the shit-eating grin. Like, yeah. Okay, you guys explain why we made this. And the more you look, the more you're going to realize that it's extremely hard. It might as well be made of titanium, dude. It's so hard to machine all of that.
Yeah.
Extremely hard to machine. Every single block is different shape because of structure. It makes it way more strong when every shape is different. It's not a brick wall. Every single stone is different shape and different size. So it's like, that makes it extremely able. Okay, this is my theory. What if it were actually made to cause the Great Flood? You know, electromagnetic pulse right in the center of the landmass. I know that sounds horrifying, but think about it. There were a bunch of half alien giants that bred with humans. That's the theory anyway. According to the Bible, you would have had to destroy those guys. You can't have monsters roaming the quiet countryside. It's a problem, you know?
Yeah.
The Great Flood was necessary. And
Well,
what if that building is actually caused by that to do that? What if they made it just to do that?
I don't
What do
think
you think
so,
is going to
man.
cause it? How could
I
they
don't think
force a
so.
tectonic plate shift?
I don't think so, and I'm not. The only reason why is because I kind of understand a little bit of natural science from like the early stuff I've read, and it talks about this polar cycle, and I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to look
Yeah,
up how many years
the
it is,
magnetic
right?
pole switch, right? They make
Well, no, it's
magnetic
the
pole switch.
sun. It's about the sun.
I know the Earth's magnetic pole switch, and that could cause an issue. Definitely.
It's like 20, like 12,500 years or something like that, or
Yeah,
25,000 years every something like that. The sun actually creeps up towards the Arctic, like the polar caps, and it melts the shit out of it. So it's a cycle that happens all the time, right?
right.
You know, like
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess there's a lot to think about with that.
Well,
It's
they
like
do say the poles shift, which would cause all kinds of weird shit. You know, like
well, that's what makes us diverse, man. Like everything's always moving. Everything's moves.
yeah, yeah, and changes.
You know,
Like the only constant is
everything
change.
vibrates.
Know what they say?
That's a Hermetic principle. Everything vibrates.
Yeah,
There's only
exactly.
7 of them, right?
Right. You know what? Part of me wants to make this not like a religion, but almost. We could call ourselves some weird shit like the Knights of Thoth or the. It would make us tax exempt too, if
Would
you
it?
think about it,
Dude, I think
because we are priests. We are
we'd get in
um,
trouble.
maybe, but we could still say
We
it
would.
out loud. I'm all about saying it out loud. I think this is a religion, sort of.
You know, get
We
our ass
are in the
banned.
pursuit of God, are we not?
I
Right?
am God. I don't know about
Aren't
you,
we?
brother.
Yeah. And what we're talking about is the pursuit of what God is, right? Am I wrong?
Michael. Yeah.
I think I'm
Look,
right.
check this out.
Yeah, yeah. I can see basically what it is. It's
Yeah.
the zodiac. It's the
No, those are the planets, but they have their angels names, right?
no shit.
Angels.
Really?
It's all about
Wow.
the angles, like your
Hey,
birth
what
chart I
book
showed
is
you.
this from? What book is this from?
This is That's just one of the. I got tons of crazy shit, man. But this is
Yeah.
just
What is this
this is
from?
one of my favorites I've been reading lately. I don't know.
What is the author's? Your
His name is Thomas H. Burgoyne.
hmm.
Yeah. He's a,
What is the most significant thing you can think to share? Um,
what is important?
what I'm saying is, if I were to read the book that of his that you've read so far, what's the coolest thing you've read so far?
The
I don't
puzzle of
know how
the.
far you've read.
I think what really explained a lot to me, and it answered a lot of ancient stories and myths that I was reading about, right, was the elliptic. And you kind of got to put it together yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I could try to show you, man. I don't know. I've
Are
never
you talking
explained
about
it
the
to
precession
anybody.
of the swing of the Earth moving, wobbling?
No, I'm talking about the shape the sun makes every year around the Earth.
Oh, we'll talk about that real briefly if you don't mind. I don't know what you're talking about. Just real briefly, because I have no idea.
I just have to draw a picture, but it's basically every year. Okay, the sun makes a certain shape around the Earth, right?
Yeah.
Every year it happens, and you have the points, right? The 4 points. You have the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are also the 4 cardinal signs, and those are the 4 major arcana of the tarot deck, right?
Yeah.
This is
And the
all
equinoxes,
related.
right? And the equinoxes in the
Right. The equinoxes represent the fall and the spring, right?
Yeah.
Right. So hang on a second. Let me see if I can.
I should have my chair higher. Huh.
Hey, man, if you want to get another chair, I'll wait for you.
No, I don't want to
I'm not
right
doing
now.
anything. It's
I'm just saying in
Saturday.
general.
I'm not a big
Your screen looks
partier.
good. Your screen looks good. It could be part of a podcast easily. You know what I mean? And it's better than most people who are doing podcasting. I'm trying to make mine cooler, but I also want to make sure that you can't see what I'm doing with my mouth because I'm usually drinking a beer or.
Yeah, who cares?
Smoking tobacco. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Can you see this guy? Can you see this screen?
I sure can. Yep.
All right. All right. So let's figure. I'm gonna draw a line. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got that, and then you got the Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of clean it
I
up a
can't
little
see
bit.
how easily you can just pull this off. I was gonna do it on my iPad and then post a picture of what I drew.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
What are you
I
using
give a
paint?
lot of.
Looks like you're using paint. Are you
Yeah. This is
using paint?
Yeah. It's like
What are
all
you
I know
a
about
stylist that
Microsoft.
works with paint? What are you using for this? What are you using for a stylist?
This is a little paintbrush thingy right here.
It's fucking funny.
See?
Okay.
You didn't say. All right. Look.
I'm not as tech as you.
Yeah.
Getting
Well,
there,
I'm
though.
a techie individual, man.
Getting
But you
there.
got
I'm trying to be.
Aries is here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. That's Aries. So then you would have. I guess that would be Libra. Right in the middle. Right? This is Aries. Aries would start right here. If this was the equator, right? And this
Mm-hmm.
is our Earth. All right. Then you got the sun. Well, I'm trying to think of how the best way to do this would be. Oh,
You
I
could just
got it.
use a circle.
No, I have an
Oh.
idea.
Okay.
I can always backspace, right? So this is Libra, but anyway, every year the Earth makes this shape, right? It starts in Aries, right? March 21st. And then you have this line up here, right? At
Mm-hmm.
20, I think it's
Yeah.
30,
Tropic
23
of Cancer,
degrees.
maybe. Right.
Yeah. And then down here you got Capricorn, right? And that's 23 degrees south of the equator. So every year the sun's going to make this shape. And this is 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night, right? At this day, right? Comes all, well, hold on.
I've seen a map that does
He
this,
comes up
but it was
like
really
this,
expensive. Yeah.
right? Hits Tropic of Cancer and then starts to descend. So this is
Yep.
this is the summer solstice right here.
Yep.
That's
So you are talking about the wobbling of Earth, the precession of the equinoxes, right?
I'm talking about this is going to be the sun the path makes in the seasons, and it's going to play into something else, but you got to understand this part first.
Okay.
All right, so then he descends, right? You got Cancer, then you hit Leo, then you hit Virgo, and then you hit Libra, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on October 21st, or on September 21st, you're right here. This is 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes below the equator. This is the fall equinox. This is the balance of this is where the sun gets betrayed, right? This is where
Yeah.
the sun is starting its descent into winter, right? This is the dark time. This is the darkest part of the year. People died during this time a lot, right?
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
starts here in Libra, it goes Scorpio, Sag, and it goes Capricorn. Now you're at the winter solstice, right?
Yeah.
Jesus is born this day. There's all kinds of holidays that fall on this day, right?
Yeah. Kwanzaa, you mean?
Right. All that. Yeah, all that stuff,
I'm
right?
sorry.
All the
I
basic
couldn't resist.
religions, they
I'm sorry.
celebrate these days and they just call them different things, right? All right,
Kwanzaa
so
was
this is
invented in
every year,
1960,
this
by the
is the
way.
sine wave,
1960.
right? And if
Yeah,
you
it
look
is
at it,
exactly a sine wave.
and it goes like this, right? Around the other side and comes back, whatever.
Absolutely.
So that's infinity. That's
Isn't
where
that
that comes
interesting?
from, right? All right, now you got,
Is it really? You think? Yeah.
yeah, it totally is. And then,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
to understand how the zodiac works, I'm going to draw this a little bit different, but instead of having it go this way, I'm just going to wrap it around so you'll see it like a circle, right?
Dude, we should make a really nice graphic of this. And you could
Yeah,
explain it in your own words. It would make a
maybe.
great video, dude.
but the cardinal signs, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, right? So now let's split it even further.
Yeah, into a different sine wave, a different frequency.
No, this is how the zodiac travels around it, right?
Oh.
And this also is a picture of when you're looking at your birth chart, right? Like it all makes sense. But like the thing about this is this is the time that you harvest and this is where you plant, and this is you're growing the earth. The sun is basically providing everything the earth needs to make vegetables, fruits, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to this point, this is the Last Supper, right? You drink the wine that the earth produced, and you eat the bread from the wheat that it made, and then the sun has to die, right? He begins that descent into winter. He gets down to the winter solstice, and then he starts his ascent back up into Aries, which is the sun. The days get longer. The sun is rising. It's risen from the dead. It's rising from the dead around Easter, right? Somewhere in here.
Yep.
And then you
and
begin.
Sine wave goes back again.
Right. So it's every story, man. Little Red Riding Hood, the Bible, all the old Greek myths, all the Buddhist myths, everything, all the Chinese ancient cultures, all the Aztecs, all of them knew this, right?
Yeah.
And it's all because all the religions where they became a dogma of evil and hell and karma, and karma's going to get you, and all these dogmas that don't make any sense when you look at it from the perspective of natural science, which is what this is, what I'm showing you.
Yeah, dude. Can I interject? Okay,
Yeah.
so I dated a chick from India. She was from California. She didn't sound Indian, but she definitely looked Indian. She had a master's degree in theology and a doctorate. No, she had a doctorate. Her bachelor's was in. They were both like this, and she said that the word karma, everyone mistakes for this. She was a total bitch, by the way. In fact, I told her she's one of the few chicks I've ever had that I don't talk to that are my exes. I make peace with all of them. I didn't with her.
Couldn't.
Yeah, she said that the word karma actually means work. The word work. So it means growth only comes through what's the right word? Resistance. So weight training. The word karma actually means the work of it. If you lift enough weights, your muscles will get bigger. And it has nothing to do with some karmic justice system. She thought that was stupid hippie invention, and she did have 2 fucking degrees, both in theology and what's the other one? The point is, yeah, the word karma isn't what people think it is. You think it's mean instant karma, like what you do comes back to you. That's Isaac Newton. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
That's
the word karma
not
means
just him. That's Hermes.
yeah.
That's
Of
that's
course
a
it
Hermetic
is.
principle.
Yeah,
Cause and
and he
effect.
was
Everything
one of
has
the
cause and
alchemists.
effect.
Yeah, he is the one that reignited alchemy. Bernie started doing alchemy because he read Isaac Newton's his when he got old, he was into alchemy, and everyone thought he was just going mad. But after he was a famous scientist, he actually said he discovered the Philosopher's Stone, and that's
Wow,
what
man.
Bernie's been reading his old text.
That's such a
and doing it.
the Philosopher's Stone, man. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, he said he found it. You're right, that definitely. But he did say he found it, and he wrote exactly what he was saying on paper. And you can read it.
Yeah, man, I get
Yeah,
it.
that is definitely a whole different podcast, man, by a lot.
I know some about that stuff. It's pretty interesting.
Man, then let's do that next time. I know a lot about it too.
Yeah, we could
And
try
I have
that.
some pretty good video on exactly what. But I appreciate you doing this for me.
I'm having
I have
fun
to
with you,
edit this
dude.
later.
It's
It's kind of cool, right?
yeah. It's like relaxing. I don't have anything to do, and it's kind of chilling me out a little bit. So it's kind of
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and you get to voice yourself, and we can edit this. I'm probably going to leave this up for 24 hours, but then I'm going to download it. To download it, I just use unless you have a better version. What I do is I just press Windows G, which brings up a game console, and then I can just screenshot the whole entire thing. Whatever's on the screen, it'll just record it for me.
Yeah.
Is there a better way? Can I just go to you? Would you go to YouTube and try to download it in their thing? I have a hard time with that. No, well, what I'm saying is, if you were me, would you? Because I'm going to download it and then try to edit it. You know?
Yeah.
I know I can do it by screenshotting with that Windows G thing, like it's a gaming control. It works pretty good too, man. I can record anything that's on the computer screen, which is beautiful. You know, even audio.
Yeah, very cool.
You know? Yeah. All right, well, let's do this again, man. I
All right, man.
appreciate it, dude. It was cool. I almost want to keep going, but I think Jackie's getting impatient. She's trying to keep the door shut to keep the audio down.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No worries. But anyway, it's good to see you, my friend, and you guys have a
dude.
good night. Yeah.
We should do the thing.
I got to get back down there sometime.
Yeah, dude, a Monday morning show that everyone could listen to. I would way rather listen to this than Howard Stern, you know? Especially if we edited out all the bullshit and made only the cool shit. Yeah.
Right. And actually did like planning and did some drawings or something that were cool and not just Microsoft Paint.
Yeah. Man, good job.
I was just having fun telling you about it, man.
Good job with that, dude. You pulled that out of your ass. I couldn't do that. And I have my computer's a touchscreen, technically.
It's a curse. I always have questions about everything, actually.
Yeah, me too, man. I like how your mind thinks. Yeah, and I wish everyone was like us. If everyone was like us and like-minded, there would be no war, you know? Whatever, though.
Bernie, I think we would be able to get there one day, but it would take bad actors going bye-bye. So.
Yeah, well, I'm all about that. I second that motion. In fact,
it's above my fucking level, though. You know, I don't know.
I'll stop talking because it's gonna sound like it's gonna sound like I'm a hater, which I am not.
I'm not a hater.
Although I really want to be sometimes, man.
I love everybody.
I really want to be a hater sometimes. Yeah.
And whatever they believe, I'm here to support you in your beliefs. Like, I'm not here to tell you Jesus is stupid or Buddha's stupid. I agree with both of them, and I love both of them. And I feel like I have their energy, and I love it. It feels good.
Yeah. And that's the best revenge at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
There are scumbags in the world, and there always will be. But you know what? The universe will take care of them for us. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Just make your own gyroscope. I feel like that's it. Make your own gravity.
Create something.
And move away from all this stuff. Yeah. And by the way, no, I'll go into that next time. I think if you want to do anti-gravity experiments, especially with these coils, I'm going to need to build a Faraday cage, which means I'm going to need to coat aluminum foil around an entire room. There are experiments that say that works better because they're saying the subtle energies that I was just talking about, like feeling the magnetic field of an egg. You should play around with that, by the way. Use a crystal and a magnet. You will really, really quickly find out which part of the crystal is magnetic. It'll be super obvious. They don't suck. They don't pull to it. They only repel. The egg also only repels because it's subtle energy, but you can feel it a foot away, dude. And you can't feel a regular magnet more than an inch away. You know?
It's trippy. Check it out.
Yeah, the subtle energies are what that dude was saying. That Robert Gilbert. There's a bunch of videos of his. I want to go meet that dude. He's in Asheville. He lives in Asheville,
North Carolina.
Yeah. That dude that made the video on the vibration thing. He has a bunch of videos, and man, they're all really fucking good.
Cool, man.
Some of them are too esoteric, or maybe I just don't have the eyes to watch or hear, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he keeps on talking about. So he was saying that if you can pick up these energy fields of the crystals, because the crystal's got a way more stronger magnetic force than an egg or our body. You know what I mean? You can feel it. Not as good as a magnet, but you can still feel it, and it is a magnet. You can tell. He says if you keep building these up, you'll get this sense. You'll get this fifth dimensional sense. and
All
you'll
of that, yeah,
train
all
people to
that's
figure
true, I
out where
think.
landmines were and shit based on doing this. Where they can, if they can feel the subtle energies, they can see where a landmine is. Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's very interesting. It's not weird at all, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
all my
cool.
magnetic coil experiments I want to do, and I'm not going to do them live. I'm only going to do them in a private room because there's this theory of the observer affects the experiment. You know what I mean? Because the person is expecting an outcome, and their scientific method doesn't work. Is what I'm saying. You can't just do a scientific method if the observer is a skeptic. There's not going to be the outcome that he expects. The outcome is going to come from what you expect it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And Tesla allegedly said that he planned everything out on paper so well that he always saw it in his head. And he literally said, invariably, I was never wrong about what I thought an experiment would do. By the time I did it, I was right about exactly what happened because I could see it in my head. He had like a photographic memory,
That's
as
crazy,
did his
yeah.
mom. His mom did too, by the way. Genetic.
Interesting.
Yeah, he said he because Thomas Edison, his opponent, was always like it's 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. And Tesla was like, no, I'm not going to try everything 100 fucking times and figure out 100 million ways not to make a light bulb. I'm going to do it on paper. And once I
Yeah.
see that it works on paper, I'm just going to do it once. It's going to
Hey,
work. And he said
how did Tesla, when did he die?
he died in 43, right in the middle of the World War II. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but how did he die?
He died of old age at like 89 or something, like super old.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the whole time travel thing. Should I brush on that real quickly? We are live, actually. Okay, so do you know that he knew one of his friends and ended up being one of his enemies was John Trump, Donald Trump's uncle,
Really?
New Tesla. He was a nuclear engineer too, doing the same kind of work. The FBI seized Tesla's stuff when he died, and John Trump took it. And there's the Trump time travel conspiracy. Have you heard that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so in 1893, 1897, right about the turn of the century, to 1903, there were 3 books written by this dude called Ingersoll Lockwood. And he said that the last book was called The Last President, which talks about a president that lives in New York City and not Washington. But the first 2 books are kids' books, and they're called The Adventures of Little Baron Trump and His Marvelous Adventures. And in the book, he goes to Russia and time travels, and his name is Baron Trump. Right? This is 1897. The dude that wrote the books was a self-proclaimed mystic who had he was like David Koresh. He had like these followers, and he considered himself a psychic. And his last book was not a kid's book. It was called The Last President, where anarchists and socialists gang up on the president's door. You know what I mean? Which is on Park Avenue in Manhattan, and not in Washington D.C.
What is
Isn't that
that?
crazy?
Trump Tower or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. It's
What
right.
are you
It's
talking
right
about?
where Trump Tower in New York City is,
Oh,
on
shit.
the same street and everything.
That's
But
interesting. Yeah.
in the book,
I
the
never heard of
president should
that,
live
man.
in D.C. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is like literally 1901.
Huh.
He wrote the first book in 1897, and so there's that theory. And so Tesla actually said, and by the way, I have a video that I have not put it in the thing yet, but it's on all of Tesla's things. He said that you don't have to travel the speed of light to see into time. He said you could be. I'm going to simplify it. He said you could be sitting on a device like a chair that was vibrating a sine wave at the speed of light, and that would do the same thing. But you couldn't go there, but you could look into briefly. And he said he did. He said he briefly looked into the past and the future by sitting on a chair vibrating the speed of light.
Did he say what he saw?
Man, sorry, I lost my train of thought now.
No, you're good, brother.
He's basically what he said was, what happens is space and time switch places, where you can see, if you were trying to move, you're locked. You can't move. You're locked because you can only see in time. So the direction you move lets you see, like time and space. They switch places. Man, I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
No, I hear what you're saying though.
Yeah. So okay. So here's the
Like you
moral of the
look
story.
in and it's switched.
He's
time and
talking
space.
about building sort of a wormhole, like I'm saying that light bulb is. He's talking about having a window into another dimension. And then when he dies, John Trump, who is the son or the uncle on the mom's side, by the way, of the president, who's also a billionaire. Okay, so you got Tesla saying he can build a time machine. You got Trump's uncle getting all of Tesla's papers. Okay, so now you have the information and you have billions to make it happen. You see what I'm saying?
I see.
You see a connection, but it's not a strong connection, but it is a connection.
I just don't know anything about that, and
the
I don't know where that came from.
thing is weird, dude. The books are weird. It even looks like Trump. It even looks like Barron Trump, Donald Trump's son, on the cover. It looks just like him, which is weird, you know.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah. There's more too. The Donnie Darko movie. So in the main scene in Donnie Darko, which is about time travel, do you see Donnie Darko?
No,
it's a movie. It's Jake Gyllenhaal in the 80s. He's a teenager. It's about time travel. It's about time portals.
I've heard of it.
Man, you should watch it. It's fucking trippy. It's filled with Illuminati shit too. Real bad.
I have a hard time watching TV, man.
I know what you mean. It's
I'd
more
rather
than
be
movie.
doing something. Yeah.
It was made in '97, and it's about, the timeline is set in '88, which is my when I was Donnie Darko would have been a year younger than me as far as real time and setting. They did it that way on purpose. But the thing is, he's wearing a Triumph shirt, and in Latin, Trump is Triumph, and his name is Donald. It's literally on the prescription bottle. They're calling him Donnie, but his name is Don. And in the movie, he time travels, and there's a jet engine, and they mention water and metal, which is alchemy, and always sharp objects, which is the spiders flying with good electricity. Sharp objects are what causes time travel. That's what it says in the movie. You should watch the movie. It's pretty cool.
I will.
But you also have this dude that's named Donald, and he's wearing a shirt that says Triumph, which is Latin for Trump, which means triumphant, trumpet. You know, you get this. It's that vibe, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I'm like, man, you know, in the movie also, the weird fucking crazy. There's a ghost character. It's a creepy rabbit. It's a dude wearing a rabbit outfit, and his name is Frank, which is my name. And in the movie, he says, and his eye, one of his eyes is fucking, it's got a bullet hole in it. And my eye right now keeps getting fucked up. I'm literally battling an eye infection. And he says, it's the name of my father and his father before him. Same exact thing for me. And I do believe this is all a dream. Why is there a dude with his eye out, just like mine, that has my name, and he's the third, just like me? I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Who knows? Point is, that's a fucking trippy ass movie, and it's filled with so much Illuminati shit that it makes me think it's real. In the movie, there's a book. It's the time travel. It's the philosophy of time travel by Roberta Sparrow. I actually have it. You can actually buy a book.
I wish I could time travel.
Dude, you should watch the movie. It'll trip you out, and even if you don't like it, it's entertaining.
Hey, if you could time travel, what would be the one point or whatever that you would go to and check out just to get the answer of? If you had one shot.
No one has ever asked me such a great question. I don't know. I will know in 2 seconds. What's yours?
I don't know. I'm thinking. I just thought
of it. Do you have to know the exact date?
No.
And I only get one ever.
Any year you want.
I would like to see what happened to
8 million BC for all I care, right?
Okay, yeah, I would love to see the first activation of the Great Pyramid. it was a Tesla coil that made the northern lights come off of it. That's what I think. I would like to see
would
that.
be rad.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting time period to go visit, man.
Yeah.
Ancient Egypt and see what the hell was really going on. Like I care about more than that than anything going on today.
Yeah, all I know is even today, dude, if we tried to make that building the way it is,
yeah,
even with just what we know, it would be like $100 trillion to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's extremely hard to make. Like I've tried to saw through granite. I actually own the exact granite that's actually the rose quartz granite that's in the chamber. I bought some of it, and dude, man, you got to have a specialized saw to even vaguely touch it. No drill bit. I have no drill bit to drill through it. You might as well be doing with titanium. This building is extremely hard to make. I mean, it couldn't be harder. It's as if it's just, and even building a pyramid, which I have. Can you see in the background? That's an exact replica of the Great Pyramid. This is an exact replica.
Yeah.
It's 1 to 2,000 to the exact millimeter too. I made sure. Dude, it took me. That was the 8th try. In all different forms. I tried with sculpture. I tried with like everything.
What is that made of? What is that?
It's
material?
made of wood. And I had to make a wood one. The geometry is so weird. I had to basically lay things across it and fill it with epoxy. It's really hard to make, and it's super easy to fuck up. The difficulty in making one of these, literally, it was about my 8th try, and I have most of the failures. I kept them all. One of them was plaster Paris. Then I tried with just a mud thing, and dude, it's extremely hard to make it.
I can imagine.
To get it right down to the degree, it's nearly impossible. I think it's because it's 5th dimensional. That's what I think. A shape like this is not meant to be in this dimension. That's actually what I believe. I believe that
shape. There's only like 6 shapes, right, that will actually fit inside of a circle, right? That's one of them right there, and it's probably the same degrees of that, right?
Exactly.
Where all the points will touch perfectly, right?
Yeah, I'm so
just
glad
like,
you
and there's
understand what I mean.
a tetrahedron, a dodecahedron. There's all there's like 8 of them or 6. I think there's 6 of them.
That's why it's so hard.
Octahedron.
You actually have to understand that to know how hard it is, or try it.
No,
you have to try it 2 or 3 times to even realize why it's hard.
That's Plato's ancient geometry, man.
Yeah.
Plato's where I read about that.
Yeah.
That's where I learned about the.
So did Copernicus too, and
right?
Bruno, and like, man.
666. An atom of carbon is, I think I told you this. It's 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 6 protons.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Can you elaborate on that?
It's just that if you look in the chemistry of an element of carbon, right, or whatever it's called, right, it's 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and 6 protons, and everything in the universe is made of what?
Carbon.
That's what I am.
Or silicon, right? Yeah.
Decorated dust, buddy.
Yeah, that sounds like 666.
200 pounds of twisted steel and 6
like
carbon.
Yeah. But it is 666.
I joke, but it is, yeah, but they call it the mark of the beast, but it's actually the makeup of, like, it's the chemical makeup of carbon is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, why would they call it that? I don't get that.
It's not the mark of the beast.
I do get it, but I'm not telling you why.
It's the mark of the physical, right? Yeah. Things get lost in translation too, man. All these things got lost in translation.
It's narcissism,
666
dude.
is an octave of 111, which is the golden ratio. You know what I mean? So these things get misinterpreted.
They do.
666 is,
and they get twisted because I think there's if you don't ever really explore the elements of carbon, and how would you ever know that, right? I don't know, bro.
Yeah, and graphite is so weird. You know graphite?
Why the hell did I go down that road? I don't know, something,
Yeah, you can complete graphite like your pencil is just graphite. You can actually take a pencil and fix an electrical circuit. You can literally draw and be like, that's right there. It'll connect.
No, when I was in the service, man, like they showed us how to take one of those little field batteries. It was like what they used to like power old radios and stuff. And like you would take 2 wires and you put one
one of the positive ports, one of the neutral port or whatever, and you take a pencil, 2 pencils, right? And you do the same thing with the other ones. There was always two positive and 2 negatives and then a neutral port. And you'd wire them like one to the top of the pencil and then the other one to like an what's that called? Like a insulator.
Yeah. Or capacitor.
And then, but when you touched both of those pencils together on a wire, it completed the circuit and arced, and you had like what we were making was a soldering iron for welding parts back together because we were in the middle of shit, right? We couldn't get shit to work because it was broken.
Right.
Fucking mortar strike, right? So
yeah,
man,
you do what you need to do.
Oh yeah,
that's a great story, dude.
Yeah, something I just thought of.
Yeah, but you remember it even after all this time.
Yeah, it's been good times. I had all this stuff. That was an adventure, man. Like if that adventure's gone, like I had fun doing it, but you know, like that's the whole dying to yourself thing. Like I went to the military, became a service member. You know, I identified as an American, and I was ready to go to do whatever for bat. And then, you know, the teenager died, and I became this adult and had to do all this stuff. And it was an adventure that was just, I had to be willing to take it, right? And then the end of that comes, and you got to be willing to die to that nature and go into civilian world, right? And just be a normal person again, right? But it's a new adventure. It's just this constant snake shedding its skin and coming through and doing the next best thing. And that's the beauty of God and creation and how it just keeps going.
Like the caterpillar, right?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Or the mummy.
Or the
right?
mummy. Yeah. Mummies are cool.
Cocoon.
I was a mummy for Halloween when I was a kid.
Man, it's a cocoon.
It's kind of cool.
It makes me wonder, is there a universe where they actually do bust out of the fucking mummy bag? Become something different?
That'd be interesting. I don't think so. I think once you're done with this carbon blood bag, right, you move on and this goes up and it goes and mixes with its source, and you probably get born somewhere. I don't know, right? It may not be on Earth or here. It might not be in this dimension. I don't know. Right. Nobody knows that really.
I feel like in the dimensions split off, and everything that ever could happen is gonna happen in one of those dimensions. So it's like, you know what I mean? Imagine what you could possibly imagine. That actually is a reality in some weird alternate universe, and you could follow that if you want, or maybe you could observe it, or maybe, and as Donnie Darko, this book suggests, you can kind of influence the other you. You can talk to the other you in a slightly different universe. One where you didn't get coffee that day. Very little changes in that universe, but you could actually talk to the other you. That's what the boot it suggests. Yeah. You should watch that movie. It's pretty fucking worth watching.
But I will, man. I will. I'll check it out. I have a hard time sitting through movies unless it's something I'm really interested in. So maybe I'll like that and sit through it.
You may not, though. It's fun to watch.
I like documentaries sometimes, and I like to question the shit out of them and find out if they're bullshit or not.
Yeah. When it comes to books, I just can't read fiction. Pretty much, and I've read a bunch of books, but they're all nonfiction. They're all self-help or instructional, or I just can't take fiction seriously.
Yeah.
There's so few books I've read as an adult.
When were you born? Like what month?
July 16th, 1970.
So that makes you Capricorn?
Cancer.
Or, not Cancer, I mean.
Yeah. What about you?
Virgo. September 1st. It was
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about your sign, actually.
You ever seen the Led Zeppelin cover album of the Hermit? The Hermit's a tarot archetype, and he's one of the major arcana. And he's
absolutely. It's Hermes, right?
No. He's the Hermit is the wise old man who has the light. He's holding out a light, like on the album of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, it's the Hermit tarot card. Yeah. Oh, that's so Virgo. My buddy Dan got that stance on his back.
So I'm a scary guy in some ways. Like I'm very like very in tune with other people's emotions, and I don't know how to deal with them when I feel them sometimes, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cancer too. You just take it on automatically.
Yeah. Well, dude, you ready? Call it a night.
Yeah, dude, I'm fried anyway.
I'm too, man.
I appreciate you
There's a
doing
lot
it
of
with me. I didn't mean to make it this long, but we now have a lot of cool talking points already on here. Too. Like,
right on. We'll split it up, man. But you
yeah,
want
dude.
to take us off being live right now.
Thanks for hanging out with me. Yeah, hang on one sec.